Hello everyone and welcome to this special video. In today's video we are going to talk about Git as a follow-up to my last video where someone requested in the comments to create a video about more useful Git commands. In today's video, as a follow-up to the last video, um, if you remember, we used like the global to set our identity. So we use git config dash dash global and then user email and username, and we set our identity. This is required if you like want to work with Git. There are some credential managers that do that for you, but I recommend to control this and set up everything yourself. Another useful of the global command is like to set aliases. So if I want, let's say, instead of status to type only st, I will do alias.st and then the command I want to use shorter. So if I do git status or git st will be the same thing. And yeah, there are also some configuration that you can use with global, and I'm pretty sure you um, will find this on GitHub website. I'm not going to talk about it that much. Another useful thing that you can do with the Git, um, if you want, let's say, to have a backup, but you want to have that backup locally, you don't want to connect to any service like GitHub or Bitbucket or some other service in there. I'm gonna create something similar to what GitHub or these services does and create a backup somewhere separate from the working directory. I choose the drive D. In order to go from Debian to drive D in Windows, I'm gonna use the mount folder. So if I go cd mount will list all my drives in there. If I go to D, I'm gonna be in this D drive um, that is available. In here, the command to create that repo in a similar way that GitHub does, um, we're gonna use dash dash bear. So we have git init dash dash bear and then the name of the folder. I recommend when using the bear command to add git as an extension to your folder naming. So in this way, you know this is like a backup git and it's not your original like repo. So if I do that, this folder is created, and in here we have um, like something similar that is behind GitHub, Bitbucket, and all of the services. That means I can either clone this one or use it as a remote, uh, however I want. So if I, let's say, move back in my folder, but yeah, let me actually go further up. So if I want to clone this repo, like I said, I can use clone and will be mount d and then test.git, and since I have a test folder, I'm gonna put in whatever, it doesn't matter. um, but it's saying it's cloning, but what you have cloned has appeared to be an empty repository because yeah, it is empty. I just created it, right? So let's say I want this to like add as a remote to my uh, repo that I have in here. Let me remove that, whatever. So going back to the test, in here, if I want to use as a remote, I'm gonna do a git init. So this will create a git folder that has all that data in there. And if I want to add that remote, I need to kind of have a commit. So I'm gonna go, the idea is something that PHP Storms create. So I'm gonna go in git ignore and add that folder to the git ignore. So going like this, and in order to if I do like git status, I will see that everything is like kind of untracked. So there are two stages with the files. If I do like git add dot or git add dash dash all will add everything to the tract. I can like add folders. If I go, let's say 331, like this will add everything that is in 331 folders to be tracked. So to files, if I do like this will add this file, and yeah, if I like said want to track everything, I'm gonna go git add dot and will be like everything in here that is not into git ignore. I'm gonna create first commit, so I'm gonna do like master initial commit, and then if I go like remote dash v, we'll see there is no remote attached, but as I told you, we can connect that remote. So I'm gonna go git remote, add the name of the remote. I'm gonna put some random name because I want to show you how you can like remove a remote and add again. And then I'm gonna go with the path instead of an URL as in case of GitHub. If I go again with V, now I have live for fetch and push. I can like even do a push if I want to do it. If let's say I want to remove that remote, I'm gonna do git remote remove and the name of the remote live. When you clone a repository, the remote is named automatically origin. So in order, I'm gonna re-add this as origin. So we have like origin in there. If I want like to push, it will say set the upstream. Uh, if I want to push, right, my remote currently doesn't have any branch, so doesn't know how to connect local and remote branches. So in order to say set this master to be the same on origin, run this command, right? So like this, everything is like pushed to the origin. Okay, so I talk you about like adding files, but what if I want to like remove a file? Right, if I go back in here, everything is committed, I'm on master. Let's say I want to remove this 21, but um, there are like in order to remove a file, the command is git remove. And if I use it like this simple, let's say I use like this 21 takes 10. Um, what what do you think it happened? It deleted the file, right? If I go like git status, well, if I did this by mistake, I think I can do a checkout. If checkout doesn't work, I'm gonna show you the hard way. So git checkout, no, it will not work. So I'm gonna do, I'm gonna restore that file from um, like this will reset everything, but if I type the file, um, I think it will work. Nope. Okay, so we have like this command 21.txt. So now that file it's like restore, but if I don't want to delete it, when I do git rm, if I type dash dash cached, that file won't be deleted. It will only be removed from git. So it will be like this, deleted, not tracked. And if I really don't want to commit it again, I can like add in here. So will be 221.txt, and by adding in here will not show anymore into like um, untracked files. So like this can be entirely removed. uh, let's do this commit. So git add everything and then do whatever, right? Let's say I didn't push, right? This is like kind of important. So I didn't push. Let's say I don't really like this message and I want to change that message. What can I do? So in order to change that message, you run again the commit command, but instead of typing a message, you type dash dash amend, double M, uh, or not, my bad. So git commit dash dash amend, and like this you will have this nano editor, and in here we can do like master, I don't know, remove it 21 file, and like this when saving you will have that commit message changed. Let's say um, we want to see at any point what's like happening, and we want to like have more details. So if I do a git diff right now, um, yeah, nothing will show. Let's say I want to know what happened into git. We have like a git status command that will show only current information, so where we are now. If we want like deeper knowledge and more info, there are like some other commands that we can run. So we have this command that will show all the commits. So we have master initial commit, remove it, and yeah, we have only two commits. And this command have like various things that you can add to it. So you can like do one line and will show each commit on one line. You can do graph, it will show you like a line. Obviously the line is like more accurate when maybe you have and work with multiple branches. You can do like stat, and like this will show the files and how many of lines of code has changed in each um, commit. My files are kind of empty, and because of that it's not showing too much. You can also use this command with dash dash since or dash dash until, where after this you put a date in this format. Obviously, you can combine any of the attributes that I show you with the log command, and like this you'll have a more detailed on what happened on Git. Now let's talk a little bit about like branches. So in order like to create a branch, you'll have the checkout dash b command. So let's say create staging branch. In here you can like, I don't know, maybe change something. Let's write something in this file. Let's write something in here, doesn't matter. Let's write something in this file, right? If I do a git status, I have all these files changed, committed, my bad. Let's say I want I'm on staging branch, right? And I want to make some changes to the master. An urgent bug came, but in this file I have like logs, maybe dumps, and all the stuff. I don't want to commit those files, but I want to switch branches to work on another branch to fix that bug. What I can do, so there is this command stash, where basically it put all the changes you have in a deposit and keeps them there. So like this it's like you didn't like change nothing. Now you can like switch to the master branch and maybe do some other changes in here, fix the bug, and then do a commit with that bug fix. Git commit master fix bug, and push. Okay, and then to get back to what you worked, you're gonna go switch back to the branch URL and do a stash pop. um, what you should have in mind is that stash it's not per branch or um, per yeah there are not multiple stashes in order to put it like that. So after you stash, if you like use stash again, it will override previous stash. So when it's only one stash, you can like put the changes there and then pop to retrieve them. Okay, so um, if if I do a git pull right now, it will show me this message that it showed me last time, and obviously the branch, the staging branch, it's not yet on remote. So let me put this on the remote as well. Let's name it staging in the remote as well. Okay, so um, git branch. Okay. Oh, I need to like push with the shoe to like set up Steam. Yeah. Doesn't matter. I want to talk about this config and why it's showing me the pull to like set the pull strategy. Well, in order to get information from yeah, in order to get information from remotes, there are like two commands: the fetch, like git fetch, and git pull. So even it appeared it did nothing, git fetch actually gets the data from the remote and updates um, git to uh, acknowledge what's on the remote, and only that. So basically updates the git database to tell git what's on the remote, and that's that fetch does. Git pull will do a git fetch and then merge that work, whatever it's on the remote, with your local branch. So that will happen like with git pull as difference to git fetch. And because of that, we have like to set a pull strategy. My preference is the base false, so merge the default strategy. So I do that, and now Paul will only like show me the second. And as I said, in order like um, to to have this branch in the remote in the origin, I need to push it. So git pull it's like already up to date. So this is like the difference between fetch and pull. And um, if I want to see like what I have in staging, like difference to master, I can like uh, let me actually. So there is this diff command that will the diff running it simple will show me the changes that I have now in these files that are here untracked. Right, so it will show me like I added new lines on all of those files. If I, let's say, commit them, right, and let's say I add a new nice commit, staging nice commit, not pushing. All right, so I have a red. If I run again the git diff command, what do you think it will show me? Nothing, because the git diff shows only the like simple like this. It will show only like the changes that we have now. If I want to see like what's the difference between what I have local and the origin, I can like run this command with a branch. So I can say, show me what's like different in my local staging from the origin staging. And like this will show me what's like in the commits that are not pushed yet to the remote. This diff can be run with various like tags. So you have dash dash stat will show the files and the lines of those files. So like this. So 2 3 lines added, again 2 lines. It can show, it can run with dash dash since and until, same as log, with a date to mention in there. And yeah, you can compare with branches like this. Okay, so that will be about like this. The merge. So if I want like to maybe push this, so if I want to merge this branch into master, I'm pretty sure you are familiar with this command. So I switch to the master, I pull. Okay, and if I want to merge staging into master, I go git merge origins the staging. Since yeah, I push the latest staging changes to origin, I will do the merge with origin staging. I can do merge with staging, um, with the local staging. I don't want that. Always, like I told you, if you don't want to connect like to GitHub or any other like Git services, just create a local repo in there and use an origin so you have a backup, and always try to merge with the remote. So git merge, merge everything, git push. So we have up everything up uh, in there. The next thing I want to show, let's say I have some commits in here. Let's say I want to like the commit in which I remove this 21 txt completely and update the git ignore. I want to like get rid of that commit for good. So if I go like git log, right, there are like some logs in here. Maybe let's go one line so we see it prettier. um, one line, yeah. So we have like 1 2 3 merge, and yeah, so we have all these commits, right? Let's say I want to like remove entirely this commit as it never happened, right? I'm gonna show you one usage of the rebase command and how you can do that, like get rid of that commit as it never happened. So I'm gonna use rebase, and I'm gonna use interactive, and then head, meaning I'm gonna do rebase inside the same branch, and then I'm gonna say I'm gonna go like for commits behind. There is no for commits in master. We have only like 3, so we can go as many commits exist. So we have this commit, and this commit with removing the 21 file, as I said, I want to like get rid of it completely. Right, I delete that line, right, and then save it. If I do a git status, it will say me that my branch and the origin master have like diverge and different commits. So I need to git to use git pull to um, like bring my branch up to date. Well, in this case, I know what I did, and I was like getting rid of that commit, and I want to push my changes. If I do it simple, git push won't let me, so I have to use the force, use the force, and like this will update origin as well with my changes. If I go again with log and one line, we have master initial commit, bug fix, and merging the staging nice commit. So if I go in here, the 21 was removed from tracking, the 21 is in here and is as that commit never happened. So that will be all for today's video. I don't want to like make it longer than necessary. Um, After we have like our tutorial, Laravel website in a place more complex with a lot of branches, I will do like a second video on this one where I'll show you like more complex stuff and what you can do about those things. But yeah, first let's build our app. Thanks for watching, and till next time, happy coding.